listening to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, where each week we talk about a free piece or two of technology that you can use in your classroom. I'm your host, Shannon Martin. I'm a middle school teacher, technology coach, and personalized learning coordinator for my district.
Hey, everybody. I'm Fuzz. I'm her husband, and I push the buttons.
And smile. And do fun website-y things.
Hey. That's me.
Hooray, hooray.
Yeah.
We're on episode 68.
Wow.
Yeah. Cruising along here in this.
If we did one episode a year, we could be retired. I got nothing.
Yeah.
But though our first few episodes, from birth and year 1 and 2 would have been a little weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Weird? Yes. Yeah, uh-huh.
I got nothing.
We're really working on the jokes here.
Thinking too hard about this one here, aren't we?
We're all losing our minds.
Such is 2020.
Yes, very much so. So it's a little...
I was just imagining.
What it would be like?
Yes.
You have to use a really big vocab word now, like an SAT vocab word.
I was contemplating. And
work on your word choice.
Thank you.
He's trying to set up our theme this week.
Yes, that's what I'm
and you're
trying.
doing it like you're really trying. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
I was going to say I was using my imagination because one of the tools we're talking about has imagine in it, but you keep calling it imagination.
Even though it's imagine.
So I tried to change direction. But here we are, just kind of mumbling around in circles. So we'll just...
Such is 2020.
We'll just lead everybody into our awesome conversations today about...
writing and vocab tools.
Nice.
So it's a little crazy and hectic, I think, for everybody. I appreciate all of the teachers and staff and everybody in education right now because holy cats, we got a whole lot happening here. So I tried to come up with, and I've talked about these tools, which is so interesting. I've used these with my staff and quite a bit with our summer, workshops I was running and stuff. And I've talked about them. And I went through and I was like, I've never actually shared these on the podcast, which is kind of crazy. But sometimes I get going sharing a tool. And when I've presented it to 4 or 5 different groups of people, I have assumed that I've talked about it on the podcast.
Right. Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, I didn't share these with other people. So here we go. So these are just a couple of writing and vocab tools to help. I know everyone's stressed and one more tool and one more thing to learn. And these are very simple to apply. They're not extra setup or work for you. So yeah, they're kind of ones you can throw in if you've got some online learners that you want to address at home, or maybe you're back and forth between hybrid or around here right now. A lot of people are starting to shift to back to online learning. So I know there's a lot happening. So here we go. Our first site is called Vocab Ahead. And it's very a straightforward site. It's Vocab Ahead, and it literally is videos and flashcards of vocabulary words. And all of these, as we were kind of talking before, it's SAT, vocab prep kind of. And there's also an app that you can put on your phone that it works too. And it's kind of cool that there's a video or there's a flashcard. So you pull up the website, you select your grade level. So this is going to be, there's grades 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it goes 6 through 11. There's also a master list, and then the 300 most common words on SAT. And then there's a widget list as well. And so what you can do is pick your grade level. So I'm going to pick grade 9, search words, and then they give you this full list. And it will even tell you if it's a verb, if it's a noun, if it's an adjective. Admonish. I can pull up admonish. There's a video version, so I can click on that. And they have these basically very basic cartooned videos. But they also have along the bottom, it's been closed captioned as well, which is nice. I don't think you'll kind of hear it. Admonish. You get the definition and you get a picture that goes with it, and it explains it all to you. And then in the top it says verb. You can go to flashcards, and if you switch over to flashcards, then it gives you just like the words, and you flip, and it flips over with the picture and the definition. And so you just work your way down the list. So if you have kids that are practicing larger words, or you want to build vocabulary, or if they're at home, I found it's kind of nice to say, hey, like, here's the vocab list, pull 3 vocab words that you would never use before, find their definition and use them in your writing today. Or if they're going to be doing, we do like a reader's notebook, find a word off the list that might fit into your book and replace, like find and replace a word in your book. So it's just getting them familiar with vocabulary that maybe, usually it seems to be a little more advanced, or not as much like the vocabulary. Let me talk about vocabulary, and I can't even sound like I know how to talk about vocabulary. So words that they're not going to use on the daily basis, and it gets them familiar with their SAT vocabulary words. It's just kind of a nice way to have students practice vocab, and there's no teacher setup. There's no like find a word list, put it together, get things going. Literally your word list is there. Pick a word, tell them they can practice flashcards or videos, have them check it out, have them read it to them. Boom, you've got some vocab practice, and it's, again, very user-friendly. And pull up the website, it's all right there. You can register and log in and do all that kind of stuff, but there's really no need. You can just use the information that's right there on the homepage, and there's a lot to offer.
Great.
So
that's called?
It's called vocabahead.com.
Cool.
And just click on the homepage, and it's all right there for you.
Right. It's pretty easy, right? You nothing really to click on once you get there.
Yeah, just there's vocab there, and there's flashcards, and it's just kind of a great way to get kids familiar and practicing vocab they don't usually use. Yeah. So there you go.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should spend
a word a day,
or spend 20 minutes before each episode practicing some flashcard words, and then
teach.
We could come onto the podcast and sound much brighter.
Yeah, we could.
But why?
It would not be as genuine.
Right.
But it would help all of us to expand our vocabulary a little bit, I think, using new words.
Let's do that with our 5-year-old. Let's just
teach her new words.
Teach her a new word a day.
I mean, she thinks that every Harry Potter word on the planet is real.
Yeah.
We were talking parcel tongue to the Halloween snake that got put out in our living room today. And she wore it around her neck and then was stalking to it with her sesses really long. It was pretty amazing. So our next site is, speaking of her, a little more for elementary staff, elementary to probably middle school. It's called Imagine Forest. It's not Imagination Forest. It's Imagine Forest. So imagineforest.com. And I've used this with our 4K and up elementary staff. It's so cool. And it's so great for blended classrooms, or you can use it in the classroom, and then if kids shift to online learning, they can do it on their own. It's again an easy to use site, and what it does is it sets your kids up to create stories online, which is really cool. So you can, if you choose to, you can create a class, and as a teacher, then you can view your class and have all your students loaded in. It's really nice because you can go in and create an account for each student if you want to plug in all their emails, or you can just share a classroom code and they can join. And then you can do assignments. So if you want to assign them specific things, you can create an assignment. Once you're in like the teacher mode, it walks you through like step by step of everything. And it's really colorful and pretty and but simple to use, like not overwhelming.
Sure.
But you can, as a teacher, go to create an assignment, and you can let your students write a story. So they can write a custom story based on a theme that you choose. You can let your students complete different activities that they have to like reach points, or there's different activities that you can assign your students to do. We usually focus on the writing piece of it, just because it's really nice for teaching kids how to write stories, and we use the Lucy Calkins stuff, so there's a lot of writing going on. So if you click your stories, and the students can open up their drafts, and then you click create new story, and there's a little plus button, and they type in their title, and And once they've done that, there's like a little camera button and you click plus. What's really nice is there already is cartooned pictures for them to choose from.
Okay.
So there's kind of like a story starter. You don't have to go hunting on the internet for images. They don't have to do any of that. It's very straightforward. Their choices are like animals, fairy tales, fantasy, miscellaneous, horror, which is funny because there's like 2 pictures and they're these like scary bunnies and cats. They're cartoons. It's like a Frankenstein bunny.
Okay.
I feel like I'll screenshot that one because it's amazing. I'm putting Frankenstein bunny on my story, and there's like half of his leg is like cut off and one's a bone. I don't even know what this is, but it's amazing. And then they just click next, and it shows them each thing. So there's like an image, like a new page. You click on the piece of paper, and then you can pick if it's gonna be all lines or all pictures or picture and lines. It's kind of like the way elementary paper is set up often when they're writing. And so then they can add a new picture if they want to, and then they can type in their information. Along the bottom, you're able to like center it and everything, kind of like the very, very basics of a Google Doc or a Word doc. Very simple. And then they can add another page, and they just keep adding pages and typing in their information. And then if you click on the smiley face, there's a challenge word. So speaking of our vocab before with like challenging 612 to challenge, they have, while you're typing, there's a smiley face and it says, your challenge word today is write and publish a story using the word swish. So they will give you a challenge word while you're writing, which is pretty cool to incorporate that into your writing. And then there's also a little star button they can pick, and it says like, need inspiration, here's a story starter. So they do have built-in story starters if you're going to have the kids work independently on the site, which is pretty cool. And they can just click there, and it starts with story starters, and you don't have to use them if you don't want to. When they've completed everything, they can keep adding their information. There's a little guy that looks like a wizard in the bottom left-hand corner, and he explains stuff and he talks to them too. And I guess I didn't explain that. Like, I can turn this off of mute right now, and it'll read to them if they need the directions read. Certain directions they'll read to them. And then when they're all done with their story, there's a little garbage can. Like if they want to delete the page, like, no, that doesn't look right, I can delete my page. And there's a little green publish button. And it even says if it's only 1 page long, it says, oh, it's too short. You need to have more pages in your story, which is, let me sneak right past you.
You just sneak right past you there quick.
So it has to be at least 2 pages. Or 3 actually, because I cannot publish the story. It's still too short. Please make sure it has at least 25 words, excluding story starters. So it's very particular. Not super particular, but enough like showing kids like you need to have enough writing in your story. And so if you have 25 words in your story and then it lets you do things.
What are you writing?
I have 0 idea. I'm not even actually typing right now.
We'll let you publish gobbledygook.
We're going to find out. And then we hit publish, and it will let you write misspelled things, which is absolutely fine. We're going to click publish. Let's see. That's fine. And we're going to add an image. And then we get to publish. There we go. And then when it's all set and ready to go, they're able to share it. So, it's really nice. Like I don't know. It's very easy for kids to walk themselves through. If you've gone through it with your class once or twice, they can do this independently for sure. Which is nice because you can assign it to kids then and say, hey, like we're working on our imagination for a story. If you're at home,
right, you can just log in and
and they can continue their story at home, which is nice. Then you don't have to worry so much about bringing things home or having things that are digital or not digital or, that type of thing. If you're flipping back and forth between hybrid and not and all of that kind of stuff. So
this site requires you to create a login, right? But is it all free or is it?
The writing piece is, yes. So you have to have a login, and as a teacher, you can assign your students to it. And then certain activities and stuff, it gets more like there's paid features as you go through,
Okay.
but you can do all of the basics for free. Yeah. So there's
Cool.
not, I haven't run into anything yet that I wanted to pay for that I needed to have stuff for. So,
And it looks like on their free resources section, they've got, so if you don't want to use the tool, they have writing prompts, story crafts, and rating lists that you can use. And I assume use those in your classroom to.
yep. And yeah, even like a story idea generator and a thesaurus and a character creator. Yeah, they have all kinds of cool tools too that you can use in your classroom, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Very
that's
cool.
Imagination Forest.
Nope, it's not. It's
Oh my
Imagine
gosh, it's Imagine Forest. See, I can't. I'm sorry.
Well, see, because it sounds
everybody.
like Imagine Forest sounds like a verb, like it's like you're imagining a forest. Like my stepdad's name is Forrest, so anytime I
Correct.
hear you say that, I just imagine Forrest. Mowing the lawn, or cooking on the barbecue.
Right. See,
But
So-
imagination Forest sounds like adjective noun sounds like a proper thing. But here we are talking about it, so
so
it works. But it's called Imagine Forest.
yes.
And I'm imagining Forest again. There we go.
And yeah, so Imagine Forest. Check it out. There's so many options and so many cool ways to have kids working, and it's so easy to use and integrate into your classroom. So there's that. And I will share my story out with everybody about the Frankenstein bunny because I feel like you need to see that. So lastly, we have a site from the UK, which I have discovered when finding resources for staff and for parents. And it's all rolled into one. So it's called, well, when you go to the homepage, it's home.oxfordowl.co.uk. The site is Oxford Owl. Good old Oxford University. So Oxford Owl, what it is, it's a huge resource for teachers. They have a whole teacher section, and then they have a whole parent section. So there's Oxford Owl for teachers, which is free teaching resources and ebooks and free professional development videos for teachers. They also have Oxford Owl for home, which is free resources and educational activities and games for families, and free ebook library for 3 to 11-year-olds. And it's sponsored by like 100,000 different things. Now, it is a site based in the UK, so it's set up differently than a lot of our resource sites in the US because the levels are like, we always say like grade levels.
Oh yeah, yep.
And it's broken down by age level. Some of the lists of things like spelling and stuff, you'll just see it's like year 2, year 7.
Oh yeah.
So it's labeled differently, but the resources here are huge. So they have a whole free ebook library, and you can pick, like, if you're looking for your own child or supporting parents at home, because I know the situation we're in is we just have some kids that are virtual and then the rest are in the classroom right now. But the kids that are virtual, the parents are always like, hey, do you have like additional stuff? Because if they have ebooks and they can't get to the library, that kind of thing. So all of these free ebooks, you pick on your grade level, and then it says like, you learning to read phonics? These books will help you practice these phonics skills. Are you looking for this? Pick here. So you pick your age level, and then you browse the library, and they have like a little bookshelf, and then you click on it, and it says you do have to log in. So you do have to have a login for the ebooks. But once you have your login, sign in, and like, they're colorful ebooks, and they turn pages, and if your kid really loves it, you can buy them. But it's really nice. You can choose like a series if you want series books, and they'll pull up those books for you. So some of the choices are different too, because it's coming from the UK.
Sure.
So it's kind of fun just because the ebook choices are different than some of the choices that we see all the time in ebooks. So there's lots of choices of ebooks, but then there's also, if you go under like English, you can browse by age or what you're looking for. So if you want spelling or grammar and punctuation, handwriting, vocabulary, you can pick these again as a teacher supporting families at home, or you can use these in your classroom as well. And they have like spelling. So like spelling year 1 is ages 5 to 6. So again, like things are set up a little differently, but like here's your list of decodable words. They give you examples how to have, like they give you all these examples you can use in your classroom. They have a video of like examples for students to see. They have spelling lists. They have it all broken down. So it's really just a huge resource of learning because they cover reading, English, math, and it's maths. You know, I say mathing. They call it maths, which makes me like feel good. They have like a lot of phonics stuff in here. They have creative writing. They have storyteller videos. So they have all these activities that you can do too. So it's just a huge resource that can help supplement stuff if you're feeling like I need more online things for students, or if you've got parents at home like, hey, I need my kid to practice this more, or just give the parents the website and say, here, this is a fantastic resource if you need to help your kids at home. I did notice on one of the screenshots we have for this week's blog post, it has spelling word list for year 3 and year 4. And it has center, but they spelled the UK way. So it's CENTRE, and also favorite.
I love that. And color probably is different.
So just know.
Yep, spelling lists might be a little different.
There might be there'll be the UK English and not the American English.
Which is interesting too. So I'm going to bring this up. The youngest and I, she's 5, but she's obsessed with Percy Jackson. We're on book 5. Well, when I went to buy the series of Percy Jackson, I couldn't get all 5 books together at once until I found them all together at once. And I bought them from Amazon, and I did not realize that they were the UK version.
Yeah.
So her vocabulary is going to be amazing when she goes to school because like everything that's in miles in the book is in kilometers.
Oh, yeah.
And color is different, favorite is different. So all of these words you're talking about, I'm so used to reading them in a different way that, be aware. The spelling
you just kind of feel smarter when you read it that way.
Right.
Though.
And you know that that's still right, even though it looks like it's spelled wrong.
Right. Yes.
So check the spelling list.
Correct.
But yeah, so Oxford Owl, if you need some resources or share some resources with parents and families, this site just has so much, but especially those ebooks for getting kiddos reading if they can't get their hands on a paper book is really kind of nice. So yeah, little vocab, a little reading support, a little writing support.
It's great.
Every kind of support we can help with because
we need the support.
Yep. And everybody is doing their best and working so hard. So yeah.
Keep on trucking.
Woohoo. Speaking of trucking.
Yes.
Actually not trucking at all.
Oh,
but
I thought I had
everyone's life in chaos.
A great segue.
We will be taking a week off next week.
Oh, yes.
Because parent-teacher conferences and small home remodel and about 1,000 things going on here.
Yeah.
So we also will take a slight break for a week, and then we will be right back at it the following week.
So join us then.
October. And keep checking out the new website because it's so snazzy.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool.
Working on it.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. If you ever have any questions, you can find me on Twitter @SmartNWI. And if you want to get more information to the links to the technology discussed in this episode, you can visit smartnwi.com or say hi on Facebook or any of the above or shoot us an email. New episodes each week. Thanks for listening. Go educate and innovate and take care of yourselves.
There you go. The ideas and opinions expressed on this podcast and the Smart and WI website are those of the author, Shanna Martin, and not of her employer. Prior to using any of the technologies we've talked about on this podcast, please consult with your employer regulations Our podcast offers no guarantee that these tools will work for you as described, but we hope they do because that's why we do it. We hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you again real soon on the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast.